Hi guys, it's Mark from the 68 in France. 68 is not because I'm an old guy, 68 is because it's the number for my state here where I live. This is number 68. That's why. Okay, I look old, but it's not because of that. We have here DT Magic SETH 6S. This is gonna be a quick video because it's exactly the same car than the 4S version. So if you want all the details, all the mechanical access, I have done it all on the 4S version. I can repeat all that, but this is gonna be boring for those who have seen the 4S version, and for those who not have seen the 4S version, who wants the detail, they can go to check the 4S version in the English playlist or in the Team Magic playlist. There is where you find all the details from the car. It's the same body. Big difference is the color. I prefer the 4S version black, red and white from the color stuff. The 4S has a spare tire here. The 6S has a wing. So depending on you what you prefer, I prefer the body from the 4S, but I prefer the electronic from the 6S, even if it's 4-drive 4S. The 4S version has a 68mm motor, is too short, has way too much kV, 2500 kV, it's too much for this car, even with a small pinion, because the Magic has big tooth in the differential, so you need more gear reduction in the center, and for the 4S version it's too much. The motor gonna be hot, the lipo gonna be hot, and you have not a long runtime. He drive fast, that's clear, but I prefer to go not so fast and not kill so fast my lipos and overheat all my stuff. The 6S version has a 74mm motor, 2200 kV Leopard motor. That's the better choice. You have the same ESC, but instead of 100 amp 4S, it's a 150 amp 6S. It's an hobby wing. You have 5 functions to change, not 11 or 12 like by other brand or by hobby wing themselves. But it's way enough. You don't need any more for. This is a fun car, so don't have to change too much settings on the ESC. Anytime if you want that, it's on you to put our electronic in. It would be cool from the Magic to get this as kit, not as RRTR, but as kit. I really like kit version, and we have less and less and less kit version, and that's a little bit a shame. The most of the car I had here was all RRTRs or RTRs. I prefer to get the Growler in kit, I prefer to get the DB8, the Corrales, all that stuff. I want back kit. Please send all brands you know emails that you also want kits, because if we are hundreds of thousands who tell them we want kit to build ourselves, they will do kit again. RTR are cool because you have just to plug and play, but I really prefer to mount my stuff myself, so I know what's in the truck and I have a better feeling with the truck. That's why the most of the time when I get in RTR or an RTR, I disassemble the truck before going to drive it. So tell me what you think. Did you prefer a 6S version from the look or a 6S version? And did you prefer the electronic from the 6 or from the 4S? Differential wise, we have here way too fluid oil. Look at this. I even don't know if there is oil in this differential. I'm going to check it out. In the front it's okay, center is okay. It's too fluid for my drive style. I love to drive a hard center diff about 150 CST, 150k CST, and in the front about 40 to 60k CST, in the rear just 10, because this car has a good steering. You don't need to have too thick oil in the rear. I most of the time put thick oil in the rear from the car when I have a car who don't have a good steering. In this case it's not an issue. You can put really fluid oil in the rear. Chassis 60-61 alloy. also shock towers and rear chassis brace and front top plate. You have alloy parts here on the knuckles, but it's just cold pressed alloy. You have also optional parts 7075 T6 for the knuckles, front and rear, for all the suspension arms, front, rear, upper, top chassis plate, chassis braces if you need. And this one, that's funny, on the 4S I normally should get plastic shocks. On the 6S alloy shocks, and it's exactly reverse. My 4S comes with alloy shocks and this one comes with plastic shocks, but it's not matter because they are really good. Setup out from the box from the suspension is okay, I like it, but like the most brands, they do a softer front than a rear, and I prefer to drive my front harder than the rear. But that's my drive style. It's on you to check out what you prefer to do. There is no right, there is no wrong, there is only the way that you feel the best with your car. Center diff has a fast access, 4 screws to top out, and you get to the center diff. In the rear you have 4 screws on the top to get up, 2 screws to put the chassis brace away here, 2 screws for the bumper, 2 screws, 1 screw, sorry, for each shock, and you can lift the top like on the 110 scale on-road cars to get on your rear differential. So it's not so fast that on Arma or the new Corollas, but it's still fast enough. On the front you have 6 screws on the cell, 2 screws in the top here for the chassis brace, 2 for the bumper, 1 for each suspension, and you have the diff in the hand. I like the way they put the receiver box in the center because you have here enough room. I don't know why so much other brand try to put here the receiver here in the way from the pinion and the mesh gear and the servo. We all have here a good place for put a big radio box. It's not a waterproof radio box, so think on it. If you want to drive in water, open it, put your receiver in a small rubber bag, so you will have no issue with water in there. It's a Servox waterproof servo. It's not the best, it's not the fastest. He do the job. And the buggy is okay. This car begins a little bit to be heavy for him, and it's on the wrong place in the T-Magic E6. There is definitely the end for the servo. Bad point for T-Magic, the servo horn is a really cheap plastic servo horn. Most of the guys has an issue with that after the first run, so I'm gonna put it away. I'm gonna put here a alloy horn. I'm gonna make my diff setups, and that's it. We have CVD on all 4 corners, and this truck is really nice to drive. I only drive for the moment the 4S. I'm gonna drive the 6S, and it's clear from the dynamic it's the same as the 4S. The difference is clearly the more power than we have here in 6S. I will maybe do a first run in 4S and then only 6. If I go 6, I don't know, because it's enough for me in such a car. For drive and bash hard I have other cars. And what's cool is that I get back an Timesso DB8. So we can do a comparison between these 2 cars, and that will happen on another video. Tell me if you have one, are you happy or not? What would you change on it or not? Have you tried some option? What have you on breakdowns? If you have breakdowns, was it your fault? Was it because of the truck? Was it cold? Was it hot? Did you drive fast? Did you drive slow? I want to know everything about someone from you who has already that car. If you don't have it, but you have some question, feel free to ask. We are here. Bye guys, have a nice day.